Thank you for coming tonight. And this is a glorious space. I mean, I've never seen this place before, and it's wonderful. Joe used to work around the corner from here at the, does anybody remember the MDR? Minimum daily requirement. But now it's the Steps of Rome, which I guess is gone too. But, yeah. And so this is filled with lots of memories for both of us. So this is the Book of Men, and I think I'll, it's men that I've known, men that I haven't known, that I've maybe just passed on the street or seen in an airport, famous men, monks, just every kind of man you can imagine. And this is a poem about one man that I did know in 1969 in a foreign country called Bakersfield, California. Bakersfield. I used to visit a boy in Bakersfield, hitchhike to the San Diego terminal, and ride the bus for hours through the sun-blasted San Fernando Valley, just to sit on his fold-down bed in a trailer parked in the side yard of his parents' house, drinking Southern Comfort from a plastic cup. His brother was a sessions man for Taj Mahal, and he played guitar too, picked at it like a scab. Once, his mother knocked on the tin door to ask us in for dinner. She watched me from the sides of her eyes while I ate. When I offered to wash the dishes, she told me she wouldn't stand her son being taken advantage of. I said I had no intention of taking anything and set the last dish carefully in the rack. He was a bit slow, like he'd been hit hard on the back of the head, but nothing dramatic. We didn't talk much anyway, just drank and smoked and fucked and slept through the ferocious heat. I found a photograph he took of me getting back on the bus, or maybe stepping off into his arms. I'm wearing jeans with studs punched into the cuffs, a t-shirt with stars on the sleeves, a pair of stolen bowling shoes, and a purse I made while I was in the loony bin, wobbly X's embroidered on burlap with gaudy orange yarn. I don't remember how we met. When I look at this picture, I think I might not even remember this boy if he hadn't taken it and given it to me, written his name under mine on the back. I stopped seeing him after that thing with his mother. I didn't know anything yet. I liked him. That's what I remember. That and the I don't know what degree heat that rubbed up against the trailer's metal sides, steamed in through the cracks between the door and porthole windows, pressed down on us from the ceiling and seeped through the floor, crushing us into the damp sheets. How we endured it, sweat streaming down our naked bodies, the air sucked from our lungs as we slept. Taj Mahal says, if you ain't scared, you ain't right. Back then, I was scared most of the time, but I acted tough, like I knew every street. What I liked about him was that he wasn't acting. Even his sweat tasted sweet. I like that. And this is a poem for a famous man, Mick Jagger, who I contend has become a piece of beef jerky. This is Mick Jagger World Tour 2008. He stands on stage after spotlit stage, yowling with his rubber mouth. If you turn off the sound, he's a ruminating bovine, a baby's face tasting his first sour orange or spitting spooned oatmeal out. Rugose cheeks and beef jerky jowls, shrubby hair waxed, roughed up, arms slung domeward, twisted branches of a tough tree, knees stomping high as his sunken chest. Oddities aside, he's a hybrid of stamina and slouch. Tummy pooch, pouches under his famous, invasive, rolling eyes. He flutters like the pages of a dirty book, doing the sombrero dance, rocking the microphone's round blackfoot, one hand gripping the skinny metal rod, the other pumping its victory fist like he's flushing a chain toilet. Old as the moon and sleek as a puma circling the herd, the vein in his forehead pops. His hands drop into fists. He bows like a beggar, then rises like a monarch. Sir Mick, our bony ruler, Jagger, slumping off stage, shining with sweat. Oh, please, don't die. Not now, not ever, not yet. There are a number, like I say, poems about men, but I will read the kind of title poem from the book, which is called Men. And it's one of 3 poems in the book that is written in a sort of form that I made up, which is that every line ends with the same sound. And the sound in this case is F. For Emily Dickinson, I used the sound Z. But for the guys, I thought F was appropriate. And you'll hear the sound actually quite a bit through the poem, because once you start using the F sound, it's amazing how you cannot stop. Men. It's tough being a guy, having to be gruff and buff, the strong, silent type, having to laugh it off, pain, loss, sorrow, betrayal, or leave in a huff and say, no big deal. Take a ride. Listen to enough loud rock and roll that it scours out your head, if not your heart. Or to be called a fag or a poof when you love something or someone, scuffing a shoe across the floor, hiding a smile in a muffler pulled up nose high, an eyebrow raised for the word quaff used in casual conversation, wine, air, an oil change at the Jiffy Lube, gulping it down, a joke no one gets. It's rough. Yes, the tie around the neck, the starched white cuffs, too long, too short, frayed, frilled, rolled up. The self isn't an easy quest for a beast with balls, a cock, proof of something difficult to define or defend. Chief or chef, thief or roofer, serf or sheriff, feet on the earth or aloof, son, brother, husband, lover, father, they are different from us, except when they fall or stand alone on a wharf. And I thought I would read a new poem, maybe one more from this book and then a new poem from my cell phone. And this one was kind of a leftover from the last book, which was Facts About the Moon. I wrote that book and it had a number of poems about the moon in it, and then I was finished and I kept writing poems about the moon. So this one got into the next book and it's called Dog Moon. And this is a true story. The old dog next door won't stop barking at the moon. My neighbor is keeping a log. What time, how long, whether howling is involved. I know she's awake as I am, robe askew, calling animal control while I drink dark tea and stare out my window at the voodoo moon, throwing beads of light into the arms of the bare-chested trees. Who can blame him when the moon is as big as a kitchen clock and ticking like a time bomb? The bright full moon with its beryl core and striated face, its plasma, umbra, pouring borrowed light into every abyss on earth, turning the rivers silver, plowing the mountain shadows across grasslands and deserts, towns riddled with mine shafts, oil rigs and mills, yellow tractors asleep in the untilled fields. The what were they like, moon, staring down on rain-pocked gravestones, worming its way into gopher holes, setting barbed wire fences ablaze. Who wouldn't love this old tooth moon, this toilet paper moon, this feral, flea-bitten moon is that dog's moon too. Certain of nothing moon, bone he can't wait to sink his teeth into. Radio moon, the white dial tuned to static, panic moon, pulling clouds like blankets over its baby face. Moon, a portrait hung from a nail in the starred hallway of the past. Full moon that won't last. I can hear that dog clawing at the fence. Moon, a manhole cover sunk in the boulevard of night. Monocle on a chain, well of light, a frozen pond lifted and thrown like a discus onto the sky. I scratch my skull, look down into my stained empty cup. That dog has one blind eye, the other one's looking up. And let's see if I can do this. As long as we have an internet connection, I will be golden. This is a poem from my mother who died 3 summers ago now, and I've been speaking to her and writing letters to her ever since. This is a letter to my dead mother. Dear white raven, dear albino crow, time to apologize for all the times I devised excuses to hang up the phone. Dear swarm of summer sun, dear satin doll, you were my panic in a dark house, my mistake, my maybe, my heart drain, my worst curse. Dear scientific fact, dear cake batter spoon, I love you, I love you. I knew after I fell for the 3rd time, I should write you, dear mother. Dear pulse, clobber, partaker, cobbler, dear crossword, crick, coffee pot, catch-all. You told me when you were 72 that you still felt 25 behind your eyes. Dear underbelly, bisection, scimitar, doge, dear third rail, dear bandbox, dear scapegrace. How could I know? I want to go home. Don't leave me alone, blank as a stone. Dear piano, you played for no one. Your fingers touched the keys with naked intimacy. At the science fair, we looked in a 2-way mirror and our eyes merged. Dear wreck, dear symphony, dear omission, dear universe, dear moon in the sky like a toy, dear reason for my being. You were the emergency room angel in a gown of light. The injured flocked to you. You could not heal them all. Dear failure, no one on earth more hated or loved. Your warm hands, your cold heart. Dear mother, I have tried. I think I know now what you meant when you said, I'm tired. I have no song to sing to your Death Star, no wish, though I kissed your cheek and sang for you in the kitchen while you stirred the soup, the steam licking our faces, crab legs and potatoes. Those were the days.